Yeah,
Hal, I know you're
California.
asking, how could things get worse? Maybe this headline.
How could things get worse, Steph?
Well, Hal, Ted Cruz may be plotting a 2028 White House run.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay, wait. No. All right. Best. No. I'm for it. Please let the second generation of MAGA be spearheaded by Ted Wiener voice, Wolverine if he was found on a riverbank after it turned out he didn't have any special powers at all, especially the ability to swim and a metal skeleton.
Trump is meanwhile assessing whether he can sack the head of the Federal Reserve. So anyone that tells the truth, like he just did, and saying, these tariffs are inflationary, etc. Investors and economists say axing Powell would destabilize debt markets, could spark a funding crisis in the U.S., but always leave it to Trump to find a way to make things worse, right? So,
right.
I mean, if he can, right? This liberal rag again, the Wall Street Journal, had backed the Fed chair and mocks Trump. He's Jerome Powell. The Wall Street Journal backed Jerome Powell and mocked Trump over their feud in an editorial. They wrote, President Trump's tariff war isn't going well with market ructions and evidence of a slowing economy. It was probably inevitable. Trump would demand the Federal Reserve ride to his rescue by cutting interest rates. They say the problem for Trump is Mr. Powell spoke the truth. Tariffs are a tax, which means higher prices for tariff goods. Mr. Trump has imposed a minimum tariff on the world of 10%, which is roughly 4 times the previous U.S. tariff rate of 2.4%. I mean, it is hilarious how he just pulled these numbers out of his ass.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, okay, so I think he didn't pull them out of there. I think they were in there and Navarro found them and walked them out.
Right.
But, right, they were in his ass somewhere, and Navarro was like, Mr. President, why don't we use these, right? So let's be abundantly clear. What are they doing here? They are transferring the wealth burden from the upper 40% to the lower 60%. That's the entirety of what these tariffs are for. What they want to do is eliminate the income tax either completely or with a death by 1,000 cuts, where they constantly cut it down to nothing and replace the income that they, the revenue that they're getting from that with revenue that comes in via tariffs, which is paid largely by consumers. During the age of the robber barons, that's exactly what the structure was. The average person paid all that up front. And the super rich, the Rockefellers and the Hearsts and all those, they didn't pay anything. That tax burden was passed on to the consumer, right? Which is one of the things that triggered the Great Depression. There was no reason to set up a safety net around their own, the trade in and out to guarantee that the goods were there, because it just meant they would get more tax. So they just didn't care. They just passed it on to everybody else. And if it collapsed, it collapsed. It's not our fault. I'm just going to move on to the next thing that'll make money from them. The average person.
Frances Callier has arrived to pick up her Jasmine Crockett wig.
Should I let her in?
Frances!
Yes. Oh my God.
Frances, it was wonderful.
I forgot you guys met when you were how old?
15.
Oh my God.
Because you posted a picture of you guys in Second City when you were both 15.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. I just love that you're all these years later doing
so
Sexy
adorable.
Liberal Tour. You were adorable. That picture is adorable. I have a wig is on a head over here. Okay. We were saying how much we missed doing the COVID sketches. The Supreme Court stuff was so perfect. You played the best drunken Brett Kavanaugh ever. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. That's so sad.
Yes, it is.
Right, for me.
And I played a super creepy Amy Coney Barrett, remember?
Yeah, I will say, I think we're all missing out on you doing a Laura Loomer right now.
Oh, that's
there's
true.
A lot of...
Yeah, that's a lot of crazy.
There's a lot of political salad being tossed around that area, insofar as we know with Laura Loomer.
Francis, can you just show people your Jasmine Crockett wig before
can you lean?
Yeah.
Hi, Francis. Hi. Yay.
All right, I'll see you on the Zoom in a few minutes. Okay, goodbye.
You guys are so weird. I love it. I don't know.
I don't know if I can get enough collagen by this weekend to play Laura Loomer, but I don't know.
Absolutely.
I could start a Buick, maybe. That would help.
No, I literally heard Steph go, "What's the Darth Vader strangulation move?" And I was 10-year-old Hal just had his heart broken.
I'm sorry.
Like
I'm sorry, Mark.
Time. Dear God, woman.
Bella demonstrated it for me, and I went, oh.
Wait a minute. You just did how long is Trump's business finger gesture for that? You do realize it's not, I'm pressing your head. You do realize that it's not that gesture, right?
Okay.
I'm pressing heads. I'm pressing your head.
With the Pope's passing in Easter yesterday, you can't help but think, what would Jesus do? He would cut funding for Head Start, wouldn't he?
Right.
For millions of
Absolutely.
low-income Americans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and to help, people heat their homes, winter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, would he though? You know what? I'm going to defer to you on this. I'm on the fence about it. I got to admit, I'm not sure that's what he would do right away. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows at this point?
Okay.
Who's our source? Paula White? If Paula White is our source, then yes. Then if she's who gets to say. Yeah,
here we go with
sure.
the gaslighting and the rewriting of history. Trump swaps out COVID.gov for a page blaming the Chinese lab for the virus and attacking Biden's pandemic policies. Okay. Remember when we were saying we had to do the entire sexy liberal tour from our houses for 3 years? And wipe our asses with coffee filters. Remember that?
Yeah. He wants to bring that back. Apparently, he thinks America's last time it was great was during his term, and specifically the last year, if you ask him.
Right.
So maybe people should have factored that into their thinking when they voted for this nudge.
So,
it's amazing.
They scrapped the entire website, replaced it with a holding page blaming a Chinese laboratory for leaking the virus, shredding President Biden's pandemic policies, attacking agencies. And people, it argues, obstructed the truth. Visitors to COVID.gov are redirected to a White House branded page that sources content almost entirely from the Republican-led
Question.
Vaccine and testing information once housed on the site are now gone in place of health guidance is a sweeping political reckoning.
Wasn't it Trump that shut everything down in the first place?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be the thing,
All right.
Chris.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. The Trump era policies that he blames Biden for that would have never happened if he had been president, but he was president at the time. Yeah. And all the government overreach that everybody was talking about that all happened on his watch, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. Dr. Fauci had him in a Jewish space laser that bounced across Italy where they stored some of the votes that he lost in
Hey, John Fugelsang here. You guys know what's happening to the country, and corporate media is not helping. But when the White House Correspondents Dinner fires comedians, it's time we take back the mic and brutally mock them in the process. Join me and the Political Voices Network for Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner pay-per-view special on Saturday, April 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Not just another comedy show, it's a no-holds-barred takedown of media hypocrisy, political BS, and sanitized news with over a dozen fearless comics and influencers bringing truth with punchlines, including Hal Sparks, Alonzo Bowden, Trey Crowder, a.k.a. the Liberal Redneck, Glenn Kirshner, Allison Gill, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, Dino Badala, JoJo from Jers, TV's Frank Conniff, and many more with special guest Miss Elaine Boozler. Catch the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner live on April 26th instead of that other thing, or stream it on demand for 2026, because that's a good number to think about. Go to www.meethook.live/not and get your ticket, because when they silence comedians, we get louder.